Good morning, boys and girls. It's story time once again. I want you to show me your whole body listening. Let's get ready with our song. Eyes are watching, ears are listening, voices quiet, bodies calm. This is how we listen. This is how we listen at story time. At story time. Again, our theme for this week is compassion, but I wanted to just read a little story that gets a little bit of math involved, but it also shows us how we really should learn how to be happy with who we are. And this is a story about a greedy triangle who wants to keep changing into different shapes because he's not really happy with who he is. So let's listen. The Very Greedy Triangle by Marilyn Burns. Once there was a triangle. As most triangles are, always busy. The triangle spent its time holding up roofs, supporting bridges, making music in symphony orchestras, catching the wind for sailboats, being slices of pie and halves of sandwiches, and much, much more. If we look around us, we see a lot of triangles. The triangle's favorite thing, however, was to slip into place when people put their hands on their hips. That way I always hear the latest news, it said, which I can tell my friends. Let's practice. Put our hands on our hips. We can make it into a triangle. The triangle's friend liked hearing the news. One day, the triangle began to feel dissatisfied, unhappy. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There's got to be more to life. So he went to visit a shapeshifter, and he said, I think if I just had one more side, I'd be happy. And all of a sudden, poof, the shapeshifter turned the triangle into a quadrilateral. That's a fancy word, but it just means it's a shape that has four sides, like a square, or like a rectangle, or like a rhombus. Life changed in a wonderful way. The quadrilateral was happy with all the new things it could do. It could take a position on a checkerboard or chessboard. It could be a television screen. It could be a movie screen. It could be one of the bases at the baseball field. And much, much more. The quadrilateral's favorite thing to do, however, was to be pages of a book. He liked being pages of a book. And then he could still tell all of his friends stories. But one day, the quadrilateral began to feel dissatisfied and unhappy again. He went back to the shapeshifter and said, gee, if I only had one more side, which would mean 5 sides. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the quadrilateral into a pentagon, which has 5 sides. Life changed again in a wonderful way. The pentagon was happy with all the new things it could do. On a baseball diamond, the pentagon could be home plate. It could be a section on a soccer ball. It could be the inside of a 5-pointed star. The Pentagon, that's the name of a place, however, was his favorite things. It was the headquarters near Washington, D.C. I hear all the top secrets, it said. It's too bad I can't tell them to my friends. Oh, so now his friends are starting to feel left out because you can't tell the U.S. military secrets. After a while, time seemed to pass slowly for the Pentagon, and it became dissatisfied. I'm tired of doing the same old things, it grumbled. There's got to be more to life. I think if I just had one more side, my life would be more interesting. That's easy to do, said the shapeshifter. Poof! It's going to turn him into a 6-sided hexagon. And he did. Life changed again in a wonderful way. The hexagon was happy with all the new things it could do. The hexagon fit into floors in houses and patios and fancy crackers at parties and picnics. It worked as the socket of certain boats and the prongs of certain wrenches. Again and again, the shapes became restless, dissatisfied, and unhappy. So they kept switching them. The shapeshifter kept going poof and changed them into a heptagon, an octagon, a nonagon, a decagon, and so on and so on. It just kept giving them more and more sides until the shape had so many sides and so many angles that it had trouble keeping its balance. Its friends couldn't tell what side he was on and began to avoid the shape. One day, the shape was going down a hill. It began to roll. Faster and faster and faster it went. Screeching around corners, crashing into fences and trees, colliding with bicycles and terrifying walkers. At last, the shape came to a stop. He was dizzy and tired, lonely and sad. Enough, thought the shape. I don't know which side is up. It's like he's almost a complete round circle. My friends don't want me around. The shape couldn't remember anymore why he was so unhappy as a triangle. Very carefully, he made his way back to the shapeshifter. Aren't you happy yet? Asked the shapeshifter. I want to be a triangle again, said the shape. I'm not surprised, said the shapeshifter. Poof! The shapeshifter turned the shape back into a triangle. The triangle was so happy to be its old shape again, and he kept himself very busy. Once again, he held up roofs, supported bridges, made music in a symphony orchestra, caught the wind for sailboats, became slices of pie and halves of sandwiches, and much, much more. Still, the triangle's favorite thing was to slip into place when people put their hands on the hips. That's the way that he learns all the latest news. There he is right there. The little triangle is 3 sides. Its friends liked hearing the news and were glad the triangle was back in shape again. That's the end. So, after him changing all his sides, he realized that he was happy, just the way he was. And that's all of us. All of us should learn how to be happy with who we are. We can all be different, and we can all be happy. Bye, boys and girls.